On the road, far from home, you don't have to feel alone. Brave, together we can be. What's going on, guys? How's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming out today with a Pokemon sales data video. We do have a couple of things to go over today. In case anyone, I didn't mention it, it was on SM Pratt's video the other day. He's actually the one that paid the new record price point for that first edition CGC 10 Charizard. That was absolutely incredible. That was such a baller move. But he did a deep dive video on it, looking at perfectly, and it will probably transition into a BGS Black Label Charizard. It's actually the best one I've ever seen, and I've seen a couple. So outside of that, little news before I get into the data. Patreon down below. There is I don't want to say, I have a theory and a prediction. I took down my Blaine's Charizard because even at 9,500, I do not want to sell. I didn't want to sell at 13,000. The only reason I might have had to sell is because I needed to pay off that Trophy Kangaskhan, which $7,000 left. I will make a huge video on that as soon as I get it. And then I also took down my PSA 8 Lugia because I've noticed I've had a few inquiries about that the past week, and from what I've noticed is that when you get a couple people saying, will you take this, will you take this, usually a week or so later, someone just flat out and buys it. And I had it at 3,500 or best offer, which there's at least 2 or 3 Lugias that are first edition PSA 8s that you can get for like 24, 2,500, 22 probably. Even though mine had a swirl, and I guess just because of notoriety, mine probably just got a little bit of a bump. But I took that. I still have the PSA 7 on there as well. I just think that as obviously the first one's out of place for almost anyone to get, being well into the 6 figures, and the 9s are getting up there as well. That's something where I don't think we would have the 8s will stay here for this long. I don't think the 9s will stay where they are for that long. That's something that I think you're going to see go up and up. That's just my opinion. I think a lot of these, we've seen a huge dip, especially with set cards, that I don't think it's not going to last forever. I hope it does. I hope this dip continues, and it continues to last for another 6 months to a year, because then I will really get because after this Trophy Kangaskhan's paid off, I'll be able to put in a lot more money into it. But I just didn't want to sell at these prices because I have a feeling that all of these cards, especially Lugia, the Charizard of second generation, is going to continue to go up. Just my opinion. Now let's get into it. Gold Star, Raikou PSA 9 sold for $495, and a Mew PSA 9 sold for $1,375. Jungle, we had a Jolteon first edition PSA 9 sold for $401. Put in B. It's a Venomoth, the all-terrain Venomoth, first edition PSA 9 sold for $148. And then we have a Pikachu first edition PSA 10 with a gold duelist stamp, that little W, sold for $625. That's really cool. That's actually something that if I had 5 to 800, I might get that. I don't know the pop report on that. I just know that those are very, very rare to get those duelist stamps. Gym Challenge, we have a couple. Koga's Beedrill, first edition PSA 8, sold for $128. Yeah, that's undervalued too. Or the 9 is, 9, 10 is undervalued. Koga's Tangela, first edition PSA 10, sold for $100. Misty Psyduck, first edition PSA 10, sold for $155. These are common cards. Like, these are actually, Koga's Tangela might be uncommon, but Misty Psyduck I'm pretty sure is common. Over $100 for those. Neo Destiny, we have a Dark Espeon. Alright, so this Neo Destiny, this is not the first appearance of Espeon we have. That's in Neo Discovery, and it's just a really good looking Espeon. But this Dark Espeon, some might argue, is better artwork. It just looks cooler. Now, I'm kind of saying that against myself because I have an Espeon from Neo Discovery, but some say it looks cooler. And to their credit, it is beautiful artwork. And it's not just Espeon, it's Dark Espeon, which I was always really not confused about, but when Team Rocket, those people have Pokemon that evolve from love or friendship, like Espeon. Eevee evolves into Espeon or Umbreon depending on what time of day you evolve. If you evolve it and it has enough love at night, Umbreon. If you evolve it and it's during the day, Espeon. Now, it's kind of confusing because Team Rocket are supposed to treat their Pokemon like poop, but clearly they have enough love with the animals. So, yeah, I just always thought that was interesting, especially when you have Silver, in the second generation got a Crobat. And you need love from the Crobat. So, anyway, it was a first edition, but it was raw. It was a raw copy, but it had a swirl. There's a lot of scratching on the holo. Even on the back, there was scratching. So I would have given it a 6. Still sold for $380. Neo Genesis, we had a Pikachu, first edition PSA 9, so $561. This, I would actually argue, probably a little more valuable. Maybe a little more valuable than the first edition PSA 10 gold duelist stamp W Pikachu. That's over $625. This over $561. Just Pikachu is so hard to grade. Everything in Neo Genesis is. So it's just, that's why I would argue, because the 10s are probably out of reach, I think that's undervalued. Whatever even the last Pikachu sold for, undervalued. First appearance, we have baby Pokemon of Pikachu. The stuff that messes up the canon, where you have in the one of the episodes where Ash is about to let Pikachu go because he sees the other family of Pikachu. You don't see Pikachu in there anywhere. You see baby Pikachu that are really, really small. So when they do stuff like this, and they're like, oh, like my little 10-year-old mind, when I saw baby Pokemon, I was like, girl. So, yes. I thoroughly believe that's undervalued as well. Lugia first edition raw. This had a swirl as well, but my grade, I would have given this a 9. This was almost perfect. Maybe a little bit off on the centering, but it was very good. I did not see any scratches on the holo. Maybe there were, just didn't show up in camera. Sold for $5,302. $302. Now that is something that, like I said, you have these. Maybe that gets a 10. Maybe it's a week 10. I don't know. Or BGS 9.5. BGS 9.5s are like $10,000 to $15,000 now. They're really incredible. I think that's where the 9 should be, to be honest. 9.5 should probably be like 20, 25. Again, just my opinion, and it all depends on subgrades as well. Fossil. We have a Zapdos first edition PSA 10, sold for $1,225. That is it. That is it for the rest of the video. Again, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Patreon down below. Smash the like button, please. But no, for real, I have the date. I'll tell you guys after of when I'm going to pick up that trophy. It won't be until next month. Even if I pay it off early, it's not going to be until well into February. There's just scheduling conflicts. Again, I run 2 different businesses also while trying to make it to YouTube partner. So please subscribe. That really helps me get into 1,000 likes, or I'm sorry, 1,000 subscribers. Lets me go live. Lets me be partnered with YouTube, and then eventually I'll be able to. Excuse me. COVID. No. Eventually I'll be able to cut down on other businesses. Hopefully I'll be a little bit healthier, because right now my brain is. You ever know where Gary's doing that race with SpongeBob as like the coach, and he's like going, and this shell's exploding. That is my brain right now. On drugs. No, it's not on drugs. Haven't done drugs since my birthday. All right, guys. I love you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good with the YouTube algorithm.